Hello, everyone. Welcome to the President's Message for October 2024. I'm very pleased to welcome Annie Amoon Richard to the President's Message today to talk about a really interesting project that's been going on pretty much behind the scenes. I think a lot of people have not yet heard about this initiative. So, Annie, welcome to the President's Message. It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, really quickly, for anyone who's watching who has not connected with you yet, just introduce yourself, give us a little more information about you and your business.
Okay. I'm Annie Amoon Richard. My business is Amoon's Custom Organizing. I'm located in West Chester, Pennsylvania. That's just west of Philadelphia, near Valley Forge. I've been in business 22 years. I've been a NAPO member the whole time. And I specialize in senior move management with a specialization specifically in hoarding disorder. I've worked on 3 episodes of the Hoarders TV show over the last 9 years. I've done 3 episodes. So the next one is going to air on October 28th from 8 to 10 Eastern on A&E. So
Look at you. You're plugging all kinds of things.
I'm a busy woman.
I love it. Amazing. So you've had such a storied career in organizing, and thank you for being a part of our community for 22 years. That's amazing. And congratulations for being in business that long. That's really a testament to the quality of your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Annie, there is a buzz about NAPO and you and a U.S. Senate letter. So tell us about that.
Okay, I need to give credit where credit is due. I wouldn't have known about this letter if it wasn't for Lauren Williams. She posted it on Point about this letter that was dated March 19th of this year. So that's when it all started.
Okay.
And so that letter came to the attention of the members of the NAPO Hoarding SIG, Special Interest Group. And since we found out about the letter the end of March and the NAPO summit was the very beginning of April, we were able to make our discussion at our NAPO SIG meeting at Summit about this letter. So Melissa Ledeck, what's her name? Judith Kohlberg was there, Jill Yesko from Pittsburgh, Kim Cox, who was the incoming president of ICD. We were all in the NAPO SIG meeting at Summit going, we need to grab this ball and run with it. So we collaborated with ICD leadership to formulate a response to this letter. And basically what it was, in the interest of time, it was the United States Senate formed a special committee through the Department of Aging to look at hoarding. And they asked basically 4 questions, which were pretty much, how does hoarding affect your community, particular older adults and people with disabilities? How has hoarding disorder impacted your organization, particularly in its ability to carry out its mission? How has your organization responded to hoarding disorder, including through establishing any new or unique initiatives? And what, if any, challenges has your organization faced while implementing this response? And how can the federal government help your organization assist older adults and others with hoarding disorder? So those were the 4 questions they asked in this letter. The person who signed the letter on behalf of Senator Bob Casey, who is the chairman of this committee, and Bob Casey happens to be the senator from my state of Pennsylvania.
Right.
There are a lot of big names on this committee. John Fetterman is on there, who is also the other senator from Pennsylvania. J.D. Vance, who is now running for vice president, he's on the committee. Elizabeth Warren, Mark Kelly, all these big heavy hitter names are on this committee, as well as a bunch other I won't take the time to read. So anyway, they took the responses that they received and they collated them into a book. It's 207 pages. Mindy has a copy of it.
Let me be Vanna.
Consequences of Clutter.
Dense.
Yeah. You can get a copy of it should you want one by contacting Bob Casey's office. You can also read it online. I actually did read all 207 pages. All right. So it's the beginning of April. We're at NAPO Summit. We're like, we need to jump on this. So I went back to my local hoarding task force here in Pennsylvania. Now, both of our senators are on this committee. So I'm like, I need to jump on this. So I run our local Chester County Hoarding Task Force. So I said to my fellow task force members, we need to do something. And we came up with the idea to host a breakfast. So we started to plan a breakfast and said, I wonder if Senator Casey will come. He's running for re-election, so we knew that our chances of him coming to our little breakfast was slim. But I reached out to Doug Hartman, which is whose contact name was on the letter. And I said, this is what we want to do. And they said, yes, we will come. We can't swear that Senator Casey will come, but one of us will come. So I'm like, okay. So he committed to coming. So we planned this breakfast for August. So then a bunch of other stuff happened in my personal world. I had to move my father-in-law and his wife, and then my father-in-law got sick and died by the end of May. My father-in-law had moved and had passed away. We had his
Oh,
funeral. So
oh my
that
goodness.
all of May and part of June, I was kind of out of commission as far as planning this breakfast. So the other task force people said, well, it's too late to try to plan it. I think we should just cancel it. And I said, heck to the no, we are not canceling it. And they basically said, okay, they dropped it in my lap and said, well, your planning style and mine are two different things. So we're used to planning it way ahead and having everything in order. And so we can't do it this way. We can't help you. If you want to do it, go for it. So I said,
All
okay.
right. And I was fortunate enough to be there as well for it was called a listening
A
session, was the
listening
official
session.
terminology they used.
Yes.
So, how do you believe that listening session with the committee staff made a difference?
It absolutely made a difference.
Mhm.
Basically, what our ask was is that professional organizers as a profession be recognized as allied health professionals. And basically, what that means is Medicare and Medicaid and insurance would would be able to bill for our services and have our clients be covered for it, so that our services could get paid for, basically, because that's one of the big issues is seniors and our clients in general can't afford our services, but they desperately need them. And it's cheaper in the long run for the government to pay for us through insurance, through Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, for our services than to have this problem spiral out of control and cause more issues that affect the greater community. So our
Right.
big ask is that we had a professional organizer position in every county across the country, kind of as a hoarding point person, so to speak.
Mhm.
And that in general,
Advocate, advisor.
right, somebody who
Yeah.
can go in and actually do an assessment, who has the training in hoarding disorder, to be able to really know what services this person needs and how to direct them in the right way to the right places. And so it was very well received. We had 61 people at this event. We had Mindy spoke, um, Melissa Ledeck spoke. She only works with level 5 hoarders. I had a realtor speak about property values and how they hoarding affects them. I had a elder care attorney speak. I had a junk hauler speak. I had the person who runs the Bucks County Hoarding Task Force, who is also a social worker, speak from the mental health perspective. And I had the lady from the Department of Aging speak. So, and the junk hauler guy also spoke from the lived experience perspective because his father is a hoarder.
It was
So
very powerful.
it was a very quick hour and a half of a little bit of everything from all angles that these um, senator representatives, the senator's office actually sent 3 people, 2
Yeah.
from Washington, D.C., and 1 from the Pennsylvania office. We had 61 people attend, and out of that has already come the Bucks County is in negotiations with me to contract to go out and do their assessments.
Amazing.
So it's kind of like a pilot program to prove that this works. Um, the elder care attorney actually writes an article every week on elder care issues regarding the law. She dedicated her whole weekly column the week after this event to tell everybody about this event. So I got, free publicity throughout our whole newspaper circulation area.
And let me just share for everyone who's watching, everyone there was singing Annie's praises. Like, if you can probably guess just from hearing her talk about this issue, she's very passionate, she's so well respected, and you are making such monumental change happen in your community, to the benefit of the seniors in your community and those who struggle with hoarding disorders. It's just amazing. I wanted to make sure, I mean, every plug that you're getting from this hard work that you've put into this project is deserved.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been only doing it for 20 years. It's just finally people are noticing.
All right. So how can other NAPO members get involved if this is something that's of interest to them?
Okay. First, they could attend our next NAPO SIG meeting for hoarding. It's one of those open meetings, so you don't have to be a member of the SIG to attend. It's on October 28th, and it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on Zoom. So it's Point, has the link to click on. So that would be first. Second would be contact your congressmen and senators in your state to ask for funding to be allocated for hoarding disorder through the Department of Aging, mental health in general. It doesn't really matter what funnel the money comes through as long as the money comes through. And that's kind of what we told the senators is like, you can call it mental health and pay for hoarding clean out. You can call it, homeless prevention and pay for hoarding. It's like, we don't care what bucket the money comes out of as long as the money comes out. So contact your Congress people. Number 3 is obtain education. So either get your CPO, go get to know ICD and the training they offer. So educate yourself, even if you don't plan on working with hoarding clients. The more you know about it, the more you can recognize that that's a client you don't want to take on.
I always say asking the right questions, right?
Right.
Like knowing your boundaries and then knowing what questions to ask so that you don't walk into a situation that you're not prepared for.
Right, exactly. So educate yourself. And then there's several of us organizers that are working to actually create a new credential called the Licensed Professional Organizer so that we can be seen as this allied health professional. And there's a petition going around to get this to happen. And it's at change.org. So if you go there and search for licensed professional organizing, you will see, and it's geared towards letting the Senate, this special committee know that there's hundreds of people that are in favor of this going forward. So it's a way to generate, that it's not just a bunch of organizers in Pennsylvania, or it's not just a few NAPO members going, rah, rah, let's do this. It's like, we really want to change the way things are done. And there's very valid reasons why. And I think the senators were overwhelmed with how many different voices were heard in a short amount of time, and that I was able to come and pull it all together. So that's how NAPO people can get involved.
Amazing. Well, you are starting a movement, Annie, and I am so pleased and proud to have you on this platform so that I could give you even a bigger megaphone,
Well, thank you.
so that we can really mobilize our community.
Absolutely.
And the work that you're doing is fascinating and it is desperately needed. So thank you for all of the work that you've put into this. And maybe we'll be doing a follow-up in a couple months to see where things have gone. It's a really dynamic situation right now. There's a lot happening. Senator Casey's running for re-election, of course. So
Yes.
It's exciting. And anyway, I'm so grateful for you that you are out there representing NAPO and our profession in such a capable, professional way. It's wonderful.
Thank you. This special committee actually sent letters the week before last to Congress and the Senate
Mm-hmm.
to basically say, okay, the committee did this work. We gathered all this information. Here's what we think you should do. And so that's it. So the kind of the ball's in the Senate and the Congress's hands. We don't expect anything to happen anytime soon because everything's up in the air till after the election. But
Right.
we've done our part for now, and we're continuing to get in front of the senators whenever, however we can. And we're marching forward and hoping to prove that, see, this is something worth putting the government behind.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get it done regardless. It's just with money, we could do it a lot faster and help a lot more
Well,
people.
organizers always get the job done.
Yes, we do.
And you're a testament to that. Well, thank you, Annie. Again, if anyone's interested in learning more, I'm sure Annie would be open to
Absolutely.
hearing from you if you want to get involved. And we'll make sure that we include some of the information about the SIG and, advocacy. It's sort of the next frontier. So it's really, really
Absolutely.
exciting what's going on. So
It's
thank you
really,
all very much for your time and attention for this special episode that's not really about any NAPO program, but it's about a really cool new movement that's happening with our members. So thank you, Annie, and we'll see you all in a couple weeks.